Well, here we are with part 2 of our Breakdown show with Eggman for No Way Out. And let's kick things off. We've got the Tag Team Turmoil to discuss, as well as Soul Calibur rules in this part, featuring Astros the Nightmare, that huge grudge match, which I'm sure a lot of folks can't wait to see. But let's start off with Tag Team Turmoil first. This, as we said on the last part, was announced by Cyrus on the last episode of Smashdown towards the Tag Team Champions. And of course the Tag Team titles will be on the line. So, well, you take it from here. Well, the first thing you're going to take into account is Cyrus made this match for one good reason and one good reason only. All of the teams that are facing Dimension X for the Tag Team titles beat them, therefore they're eligible to become number 1 contenders. So all the challenging teams have more or less beaten the champions already, and if that wasn't bad enough now, Dimension X have to step into this Tag Team Turmoil, which certainly don't favour them in the first place, but now they've got to face pretty much all of the teams that they've beaten before. But not necessarily, because there's a 75% chance that they could wind up being the last team out. Because the way the Tag Team Turmoil works is you can have 2 teams to start off, and then when one team is pinned, then that team is eliminated, and then another team replaces that one. And until we get all the teams out, until all have been eliminated and there's one left standing. So they could be the last team to come out, which means they only have to face one of the teams that that have beaten them. But to, of course, sweeten the deal, those guys that they're facing may have had 1 or 2 matches before them prior to them facing each other. But luck may not be on their side, and they could get a bad draw and come out first or second, because if you get one of those 2 numbers, then you start off the match and you have to go all the way through all of the teams in order to win. So and if they end up doing that, then it's going to be pretty difficult for Dimension X to pick up the pace. And it is a normal tag ruling, I like to point out. There is no special other gimmick to this thing. It's just a process of elimination of who's the best tag team out of all those rounds. And then who gets the luck of the draw as well, I guess. The odds-on favourite would be number 4 in this case, and the least likely to be 1 or 2. And number 3, well, that's a bit of mixed. So, yeah. So, if you're not favouring Dimension X, then who are you favouring? I'm favouring all of the other teams. But, the people I'm most likely to be bragging about, I would say, would be Manic and Sonya. But, let me justify here, because they beat them in a normal tag ruling, which is what this match is all about. Wario and Bomberman beat them in a tornado-style tag team match, where there was no tagging involved. It was just the 2 teams going at it. So that would leave the tag team champions unfocused, for sure. So that's why they beat them. And then, of course, Dimension X lost to the Simpson clan, that's Lisa and Homer, to that No Mercy rematch, the ladder match that they had. They beat them in that. So that's why I'm picking Manic, and plus Manic is the leader of the freedom movement, and even though his sister's been labeled as a jobber, I don't know, Manic has got that main event power behind him, so that means he can go with the best, and Dimension X don't look like the best right now, so that's my take on it all. My personal picks are Manic and Sonya. But I think a lot of the fans may be swaying towards Retro Warriors. I don't know. But they've become pretty popular as of late. So, and of course that whole thing with that female Bomberman keeps lurking in my mind. I'm still puzzled. I really think that we're being tricked on that front. You do? Well, I don't think so. Yeah, well that's because you're gullible. You see Bomberman dressed in drag, you go, look, it's cute pink. Yeah, I do. Happy? I am. Satisfied. Very much. But that's my prediction for that match. Dimension X aren't going to win.
But Manik and Sonya are my favourite team to win that one. May not necessarily win. I may not want them to necessarily win, but they're the odds-on favourite in my view. But we'll have to wait and see. We will. And usually your results are correct, so you never know. We could have new tag team champions. Right, let's move on now, because we're getting to the halfway mark, or we are past the halfway mark. Let's move into the Soul Calibur rules match. Definitely a match made for revenge, because Nightmare and Astaroth want to tear at each other for sure. They do indeed. I mean, this couldn't be a better stage for them to settle their differences. I mean, let's look at the background these two have had so far. Nightmare's cost Nightmare's cost Astaroth the YouTube Championship twice. First off, eliminating him in that championship chase, which is how we got the main event, but I'll talk about that later. And then, well, of course, he originally cost him the title at Survivor Series, in which he knocked him off that ladder in the final fall in the 3 stages of hell match, facing the current YouTube champion Bart. And in doing so, he's enraged him a little bit. Well, I say a little bit. He's enraged him a lot. He's definitely made an enemy once again in Astaroth, as this was a really good classic rivalry in the retro ASF, as you like to bring up all the time. I do like to bring it up all the time. Well, not many fans know about the retro ASF, so I like to bring up the facts, of course. But we're living in the new age now. Get used to YouTube. I'm trying. But I will admit, these two had a classic rivalry back in the day, and they've renewed it here again. With Soul Calibur, the first ever Soul Calibur rules match, where you have to get, is it 2 knockout pins, 2 knockouts to secure a victory. So it's definitely like a Soul Calibur rules match, because you have to win by a knockout, and then you have to win 2 in a row. And of course, weapons in the Soul Calibur world are all legal, so it's going to be under hardcore rules, I guess. That is the plan, yes. Or at least weapons are going to be legal. I don't know about the Falls Count Anywhere thing, but we might let it fly, who knows. I'd say let it fly. These guys are going to beat each other from pillar to post, and do a good job of doing it, and they're going to put on a fantastic show, I predict. Regardless of who wins and who loses, this one's got classic written all over it. I love that stutter then. Thank you, I'm trying to learn from your vocabulary. Of course. Right, anyway, let's move on. We can't move on, that's the last one for this part. Well, let's call it a day then. But, oh no, wait, who, hang on. We haven't finished yet. I'm gonna hit you. Who is the winner? Who do you think is gonna win? Who are you pulling for in this one? That's a toughie. I mean, Astaroth's got all that rage built up inside of him, then he has the potential to win this match fair and square. But Nightmare, he's been rather cunning. He didn't do this knowing what the results were going to be, and it was inevitably going to be a match with Astaroth. He knows how the business works, so he knows it's what he was getting into the moment he stepped into that ring and cost Astaroth the YouTube Championship on more than one occasion. He did indeed, and so that does leave the question of, it's going to be a very close draw to call with these two. But of course, I have promised, me and Cyrus together both promised one of these two that whoever wins will get a hardcore championship match in the near future. Whoever that may be. Be unlucky if it was Peach. Oh God, let's not picture that, shall we? Because Peach isn't going to win. Oh, shut up. I say you're not going to win. Oh, who cares? Yeah, but whoever does win will be getting a hardcore title match in the near future. Not necessarily at ASIF, we've got other plans for that, so it will be between No Way Out and the ASIF, which is the interactive pay-per-view. Yes, so that's our 2 cents for that one. So it should be good for whoever does win it. And we've got part 3 still to come, with the triple threat match inside a steel cage.